What's up, guys? So Toy Fair is basically over at this point, and I was going to do this video yesterday, but I was holding on to hope that Mattel was going to come in and just kind of blow the doors off the place and just have a thunderous revival for Thundercats. Clearly, I was losing my mind because they basically announced nothing, at least nothing even remotely of note for me personally. Nothing that I care about that they have was even on display, and they had almost nothing to say about it either. So I'm going to assume that for now Thundercats is still dead, and I'm going to move forward and we're going to talk about the things that kind of wowed me at Toy Fair, kind of my top 10 things that I'm most looking forward to that we finally got to see and got announced and got revealed. Some of these are a group of things. It's not 10 individual figures, it's 10 properties, 10 lines, things like that. So we're going to start off with Star Wars, and there's not a whole lot of Star Wars on this list because of the fact that they really couldn't show a whole lot. But some things that they showed that really caught my attention and got me more excited because of one very large thing that I've got coming is that they are releasing a Vintage Collection 3-pack of skiff guards, and we are getting a Vintage Collection skiff vehicle that is in scale with the barge. So of course I've got the sail barge coming. It's going to be coming really soon. So I'm really excited that later on this year we're going to have something to pair it with, along with all the other Jabba stuff that they revealed at Toy Fair for the Vintage Collection. 3 3/4 is not by any means my preferred scale, but I'm very much invested in this line right now, especially around the Jabba's palace and the sail barge and all that stuff, because, I mean, come on, it's just going to be an amazing display, and I don't know where I'm going to put it yet, but it's going to look cool. So we've got that to look forward to, and that's a really exciting. I think that really came out of left field, and it just looks fantastic too. Not to mention the fact that for what it is, it's also pretty inexpensive. Number 9 is a property, a license, a figure that I'm not sure anybody even remotely expected to see at Toy Fair, let alone in this form, and that would be the Super 7 Motu Classic style Toxie figure from the Toxic Crusader. So there's just a lot of nostalgia here for me, personally. I loved the show as a kid, even though it definitely does not hold up now, and I really loved the toy line at the same time. It was that gross out Ninja Turtle style of toy and cartoon show that it just worked back then, and it was really cool, and I'm really excited to get a hold of this figure. I think the sculpt looks on point, the paints look amazing, it very much looks like it's a cartoon style of figure. Hopefully the finished product does look like that, and the fact that I can throw it in this big display full of Motu Classics figures is just a winning selling point for me. There is no way that I will not purchase this figure. It's going to look great alongside all of these goofy figures back here, all of the more wacky Motu Classics figures, and you know, who knows, maybe we'll get a few more figures in that particular series. But even if we don't, having this style of figure for that character absolutely stunned me and blew me away. Number 8 is a brand new line of figures from Hasbro, and there's a lot of Hasbro on this list. They really did clean house when it comes to Toy Fair. This is one that I kind of expected we were going to see these, and frankly I've been really looking forward to them because I have a very large opinion about what this line is going to do for this property and the other company that already makes it. So number 8 is the entirety of the Overwatch wave or line from Hasbro, the Overwatch Ultimate series of figures, because frankly Hasbro came out swinging with these. We've got multiple 2-packs, multiple single figures. We've got a Build-A-Figure that isn't a Build-A-Figure. We've got the Reinhardt figure that's going to be a deluxe figure right out the gate, or at least shortly thereafter, and they just look fantastic. I've been of the opinion for quite a while that Figma is never going to finish the Overwatch line. They're never going to do the big figures, and even if they do, even if I'm wrong there, they're going to be so prohibitively expensive that I wouldn't buy them anyway. So this is the perfect way to get these figures because I've said it before, Overwatch is currently one of my favorite games. I play it every single day, and I'm really looking forward to getting these figures. I'm really looking forward to the fact that we know they're going to do some non-default skins, and they just look good. The packaging is really fantastic, and I'm just excited to get this particular property in figure form. Number 7 is the other half of the Star Wars stuff that I was really excited to see. And don't get me wrong, pretty much everything they showed I ended up being excited for. Even that Hyper Real figure, now that I know what it is, I'm more excited about it than I was previously. It's still not my thing, so to speak, but I'm a little more interested in what it is knowing all the details. But specifically, we had 2 figure reveals that they speak to me personally because, again, it's a nostalgia thing, and it's also because I'm going to be able to get these in person, and that would be the Celebration exclusive Phantom Menace, Obi-Wan, and Darth Maul figures that come on those vintage style Phantom Menace card backs. So we know that those are going to be the two big exclusives for Celebration this year. I am going, and I'm going to wait in line for hours to get my figures, and I'm just thrilled with them. I think the Obi-Wan looks fantastic. This is one of those few figures so far that I look at and I think, okay, this is better than what we got from Figuarts, because that thing looks, it looks pretty perfect, all things considered. I think it looks really stellar. Maul is really good. We already know that he's a winning figure, and mostly I need another Maul because that's the one Black Series I have that I've never opened because I got it autographed and I was never able to find another one. So I need an opener all these years later for Darth Maul. So I'm really looking forward to his reintroduction into the line, and the fact that these two figures are coming on those foil vintage style, well, vintage style, 20-year-old card backs is really doing it for me. Number 6 keeps us, again, with Hasbro, and we're going to Marvel Legends, and there are just a tremendous number of figures that speak to me on a personal level just because of the fact that they went so heavy on mutants, and not just mutants for the sake of mutants, but mutants that are really heavy hitters for some of the major teams. We're talking X-Men, we're talking X-Force, so figures like Boom Boom and Cannonball, Mr. Sinister, Nightcrawler, the Juggernaut Colossus 2-pack, the classic Wolverine, all of that stuff just speaks to me because that's my focus when it comes to Legends. If I had to stop buying everything I wanted and just focus on one subset, it would always be mutants, it would always be X figures, and they are just giving us everything that, mutant collectors want. So they're really, really fleshing out teams, and they're just making it so unnecessary to even consider buying old Toy Biz figures. I love that. I love that they are updating these figures so you don't have to spend money on old and incredibly outdated toys at this point. I'm really, really looking forward to everything that they've shown this year. They really kind of threw down the gauntlet, but when it comes to specific X figures, they have knocked it out of the park. Number 5 is all about Neca, and we saw a pretty solid spread of Alien and Predator figures, from brand new stuff from the recent movie to Number 5 takes us to Neca toys, and while they showed us a lot of stuff for Alien and Predator, even going so far as to reimagine the old Kenner Predator line with new updated figures for the kind of modern age of that style of figure, there was one thing in particular that stole the show, there's no doubt about it, and that would be the Alpha Predator figure that they showed. So this is kind of a concept figure, their 100th entry, 100th unique Predator in the line, kind of a unique idea, unique sculpt, but at the same time it integrates the original Predator look that was the Jean-Claude Van Damme suit before, that whole thing changed. So we have some great history with the look and feel of this thing, but overall, I mean, this figure looks absolutely stellar. The detail on this guy is just unreal. I cannot wait to get a hold of this figure. It just looks truly amazing. Probably the best figure I think they've sculpted up to this point for Predator. It's amazing the amount of detail they've packed into this thing, and it just looks cool. There's really no other way to say it. It's a cool looking figure. I'm very much into Predator right now, so this one is definitely doing it for me. Number 4 is more Hasbro, and it's the other side to that coin I was talking about. So we have a ton of mutant figures that are coming in the main line releases. But we also have a lot of other mutants coming in a very different way in a subline, and that would of course be the vintage Toy Biz homage line that we're getting for the X-Men wave. The ones that are done up on the card backs, we've had a few waves so far, but these are specifically X themed, and these are the ones I've been waiting for. This is the one that has Silver Samurai. It's got the Wolverine figure that has the black costume. We've got 80s Outback Dazzler, and we have the blue and white suit Cyclops, which is my all-time favorite 5-inch Toy Biz figure. That thing is everything I've wanted. He has an alternate head. We have got blast effects for a Cyclops figure. I mean, just the packaging alone is worth the price of admission for me. I'll have to get 2 because this is one that you just need to keep them sealed. They're going to look perfect next to my original figures that are still in their packaging. So everything about this line speaks to me as a collector and as a fan of those characters. They look to be absolute winners from a paint and sculpt detail, but of course the packaging, overall presentation is a home run. Number 3 is a line of figures that I've been chomping at the bit to find out any information on these that we could possibly find since last Toy Fair, when we found out that Hasbro, again Hasbro, bought the entirety of the Power Rangers brand, and then we found out that they were bringing collector-based figures that were obviously going to blow away everything Bandai America did. we knew the general assortment, and then we finally got to see them this weekend. And frankly, everything about the Lightning Collection figures looks absolutely stellar. Photoreal faces on the human faces that we have, swappable heads, extra hands, energy effects, killer sculpts, great paint, and boxes that just look fantastic. These are actually Hasbro packages that I want to keep. They look to rival the Figure Arts Power Ranger or Super Sentai designs, and just everything about this looks fantastic. We also found out that we're getting a GameStop exclusive Goldar, which also looks absolutely stellar. We got a few hints as to what's coming in Wave 2, and in general they are just firing on all cylinders with this line. And then when you look a little closer and you see just how amazing Lord Zed looks, and the fact that they're coming out swinging with the, let's face it, the most important bad guy, because Rita Repulsa is of course the big one when you think about it, but in terms of figures you want, you're always going to want Lord Zed over Rita Repulsa first, and I think they knew that, and they really gave it their all on this one. Everything about the figure just looks stellar. That's probably going to be the figure to get, no doubt about it. He's also only one per case from what I can find, so he's definitely going to be the one to get. I just am really looking forward to that from a toy collector standpoint, but also from the fact that I am a longtime Power Ranger fan, you know, ever since the show debuted. Number 2 takes us back to Neca, and this is probably one of the ones that you might have known was coming if you know, you keep up with the channel and listen to my ramblings, and that of course is the cartoon TMNT Bebop and Rocksteady figure. I kind of hinted that I thought these were coming in my what I want to see from Toy Fair video, because Randy had hinted previously that some villains were coming, and it made the most sense that these were going to be the next ones. And I've long said that the Playmates Classics Bebop and Rocksteady were good enough, and frankly they're still good figures, but when you look at what NECA can produce in their style with that more cartoon accurate look, there's just no comparison. These things look absolutely stellar. I really hope that this line has some legs and they can show that they can really hammer these out and get us more figures, because he's also hinted that some other figures like the Rock Warriors or Slash or Leatherhead, stuff like that, will also be coming in cartoon style if the numbers are there. And I think he knows that people are going to eat these things up. There's no doubt about it, but those two figures in particular just absolutely blew me away. I was looking for every picture I could find nonstop to get the best possible shot at these guys, and they just look fantastic. It's everything I could possibly want out of these two characters from NECA. And last but certainly not least, this has to be the one that everybody knows I'm already going to talk about. There's a reason I'm sitting in front of a bunch of Motu figures, and it's without a doubt the biggest thing that could have possibly been revealed at Toy Fair, except for Mattel coming in and saying that they were redoing Thundercats again, which again they didn't. So Super 7 in just about every way possible killed it at Toy Fair. Every offering they had to show really did it for me, from reaction to their muscles to Keshi's to even the non-toy stuff like the Halloween buckets and stuff like that. All of that weird kind of stuff that they also do. It always does it for me because they just seem to know what people want to buy, and frankly I really just eat it up. But they are making the figures that, for one, no one thought people were ever going to be able to make, because the license holders hated Mattel, and Super 7 isn't Mattel. So Brian Flynn was able to make some sort of magic happen, and we are finally getting the 80s Motu movie Masters of the Universe Classics figures. So we're getting Dolph Lundgren He-Man, which that alone is just blowing me away. It's a figure that I have wanted since I was a kid. I watch that movie all the time still, so it's something that is always fresh in my mind. We're getting a movie-accurate Karg, which, for a repaint, I'm still 100% on board, because I was happy with the original Karg that we got, which we also thought was never going to happen, and now we're getting the one that was really the impossibility. But of course, the big ones, the ones that everybody is focusing on, are our Black Skeletor and our Golden God Skeletor. So yeah, this is just the year that we get kind of the impossible from Super 7. We also know that Snake Mountain is coming as well. We're still waiting on the final details. We pretty much know everything at this point. They haven't said 100% that the price is set in and all of that stuff, but we know there's a pre-order coming in a couple months. But it's crazy to think that the year we also get 100% confirmation Snake Mountain is coming, that's not the big news. The fact that we're getting these 4 figures, and who knows, maybe we'll get more. Maybe we'll get, you know, Man-at-Arms and Tila, movie Beastman. I I'd be happy if we got some shock troopers as well. There's just so much that they could still do for this particular movie, and I'm all for it, frankly. So anything that they can give us is fantastic, but the fact that they came out swinging with the heavy hitters like this is no doubt the star of the show for me personally, and I'm sure for a lot of others. So that's my kind of top 10 list of things that I was really, really excited about for Toy Fair. I would love to know what everybody else thinks about my list, and then of course, you know, what wowed you. I'm sure a lot of the same stuff is going to be on your list, but I'd love to know what is also the most important things to you guys. Reviews will start very, very soon again. I know it's kind of been a reviewless weekend, but we're going to be back on track really soon with some new stuff. And yeah, that's it. I'll catch you later.